Good morning and welcome back to Miniature Monday here on Gaming with ADHD, where today we've got just a short video to take a quick look at the Union Dropship map scale miniature from Catalyst Game Labs for use with Battletech. Now, yes, I realize that was a bit of a mouthful, but it'll kind of make sense once we get into the actual review. So for this, we're going to be looking at the miniature, but as is tradition when doing Battletech miniatures reviews, we're also going to look at some of the old school art that was used in the technical readouts. So you can kind of see, number one, how the evolution of the art style has changed over the last 40 years, but also see how it compares to the actual miniature that you're going to be receiving. Now, before we get into it, do make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I try to put out a few videos each week covering all sorts of content, whether it's miniatures, board games, role-playing games, or anything in between, and I'd love for you to come along and see what we have to share. In addition, there are links down below to Amazon and DriveThruRPG, which are affiliate links that do help out the channel if you choose to use them. But regardless, thanks for watching, and we appreciate that you're here. So, with that out of the way, let's get into it. All right, so first off we're going to do this one a little bit differently. Normally I have the rotating turntable to give you 360 views of the miniature itself, but in this case it's a little big for the tiny turntable I have, so I'm just going to have to show you this one by hand. So starting off, we've got just a top-down view where you can see that it is approximately 4 inches by 4 inches. Now, this is a standard dropship. It will carry 12 battle mechs into, from the jump point to the planet, and 2 aerospace fighters. Now, overall, the model is pretty decent. I like the detail. This is where one of the ramps is. Obviously, they didn't model the ramps in here. It's supposed to represent a dropship that has already landed, which is why it comes with the landing struts, which is a little frustrating that they have to be glued on. I wish that they had done something maybe a little bit tighter tolerances to keep them in place, but if you're just going to take it and put it on the table, it's not a problem. But overall, nice deep grooves that are going to make this actually really easy to paint. But it's got a decent look to it. I like the different weapon systems spaced somewhat randomly around the figure. You've got the rocket whatever engines on the bottom, so it is all modeled very well. It's not skimping out on detail that might not necessarily be seen. Obviously they did skimp out a little bit on the other underside of the feet, but I'll give them that one. But overall, it's a good looking model, and I do like it. Now, let's see. All right, so this is a side view, obviously. Please ignore the rest of the mess around in the background. But to give you a sense of scale, this is the Bushwhacker miniature. And as you can see, it's going to come up about half the height of the dropship. Now, most of the Battletech figures come in around 2 inches, meaning that your height on the Union dropship is about 4 inches as well. Again, you're dealing with map scale. A Union dropship is really only supposed to cover about 7 hexes worth of terrain. So there is a limit on how big they can make this. But you can absolutely tell the difference in scale between a mech and the dropship. On a map, not a big deal. If you're playing Alpha Strike, you're absolutely going to notice it. All right, so let's take a little bit of time to look at some of the art. So first off, we've got the original 3025 technical readout. Just a rather simple, looks like a marker drawing, but I like it. It's the one that I remember most from my early days playing Battletech. But you still get a lot of really good detail. You have, nice shading. You can see the different weapon systems. It looks a little, I'm going to say, less streamlined than a more technical drawing, but it still does really well at giving off the vibe of what it's supposed to look like. This is the 3055 upgrade, so we're getting some better art, much cleaner, but they're still actually taking that original piece of art. You can tell we've got the antenna, this, cannon piece over here. So it looks like the original piece of art was taken and sort of traced over, but traced over to actually improve, add extra detail, and I really like how this one came out. And then we have the jump ships and drop ships version. This I kind of equate similar to like the original camo specs that they did with the mechs, where you would get to see them in color in different camo schemes. It has that kind of a feel and vibe to it. And then finally we have the 3057 technical readout. Now this was drawn by Dwayne Luce, who did all of the original Battletech art. I'm sorry I didn't look up all of the others, but we've got Mr. Luce's name right here on the side. It has a very, very different look compared to all of the others. The others all seem to be running off of the same piece of art. This one definitely seems like a change. Overall, it's a spheroid dropship. They're not very exciting. The whole point to the spacecraft is to get you from the jump point, either at the top or the bottom of the star that you just jumped into, and to spend a weekend to get you from that point to the particular planet. Again, not very how shall I say, exciting, but overall, it's just a piece of Battletech lore. Personally, I like the new design on the miniature, especially the fact that they have a miniature that is reasonably priced for people to get and put in their games. Is the scale off? Yes. Is it really a problem? No. Personally, I'm excited for this one. I have no idea how I'm going to paint it up, but it's gonna be fun to have. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Did you pick this up in the Kickstarter? Or are you waiting for it to come to retail? Do you think it's going to be worth it to have for your games of Battletech? Put it down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. But regardless, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do give a thumbs up. Otherwise, we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching.